Ha-Seong Kim. So Ha-Seong Kim will remain on the injured list for now. This was Kevin this morning. Schultz said still day to day. He's feeling better. It's not like day to day and he's going to get back, but he is day to day in the sense he's making recoveries and he's able to increase his intensity of his throwing and his swings. But we're clearly not going to push him, but he's making positive strides. He was in St. Louis, by the way, and I saw a video, I think it was of him throwing. Scan, I think, posted that at the beginning of this Cardinal series. So that was good. Kim, obviously, on the IL, jammed his right throwing shoulder diving back into first in Colorado, that last game in Colorado. He was eligible to come off today, but I don't think anyone really thought that was going to happen. I thought there were talks about that, like Kim wanting to do that and thinking he was going to be ready when he first went on the IL. But, these last couple of days, when you're not hearing a whole lot about it, you're not thinking like, yeah, Kim's coming back. So seems like he's making progress, and hopefully he'll be back at some point during this next homestand, but that's just a guess on my part. And then updates on Darvish and Fernando. So Darvish threw what was described as an intense bullpen yesterday afternoon and is expected to make a rehab start in the minor leagues later this week. The right-hander was reinstated from the restricted list on Friday after nearly 2 months away tending to a family matter. So, again, this is more good news. He's progressing. It's an intense bullpen. Rehab start later this week. Don't know exactly where that's going to be as of now, but if he's making a rehab start, I don't think it's just going to be one, but let's say it's a couple of rehab starts. And let's say he makes the rehab start Friday or Saturday, then that next outing hopefully would be Thursday or Friday of next week. And then his next start can be that start, the first start back at Petco or, with the Padres, wherever they're at. And that could be the week of the, 8th through the 14th, or even if it's 16th, 17th, something like that. Maybe it's a couple of rehab starts that he has to make. Few. I wonder where he's going to get to. Like, does he want to come back 6 innings fully built up, or are they going to do a Musgrove thing where he builds up, but he's at the big league level? Again, the Padres, they're in a good spot. So I'm not someone that's like, oh no, rush Darvish back so we can get as many innings out of it. We need Darvish starts. I care about making the postseason the most. Even if they slip down to the third wild card, would that be ideal? No. But we've seen teams barely get in, and you go to the World Series. You go to the NLCS. You don't have to win the division. The division earns you nothing. I mean, there's side benefits like getting home field or getting the wild card series off if you're one of the top division winners. But as long as the Padres get in, then I'm a happy camper. And so Darvish, he's someone that will be important for the Padres in the postseason if he can be healthy. And I've said this before, but I can compare it to like Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers in 2020, how he was fresher than normal because it wasn't a long season. And this could be Darvish's shortened season here because of all the time off that he did have from pitching in games in Major League action. So, intense bullpen, rehab start coming up, progression there. Then Tatis took dozens of at-bats against minor league pitchers in Peoria on Tuesday, hit in the cage yesterday, and is scheduled to face pitchers again today. So earlier today he did that in a simulated game, situations such as having runners on base. The Padres have not ruled out a brief rehab assignment, but this workload appears to be trending towards him not having one. The expectation is that Tatis could be back in right field for the Padres next week, which, I mean, that would be quicker than I think a lot of people were anticipating, but I think people were anticipating that he was going to have some rehab games, probably more than what Xander was going to do, because I know Xander was gone for a while, but Tatis, I mean, I feel like, Xander, he had a lot of time. He would get a lot of at-bats at the big league level, and he's good, obviously, now. Tatis, he's not going to have a ton of games at the big league level before getting into the postseason. Um, and I was listening to John and Jim earlier today and they were discussing this Tatis situation, and John, I think, had the point of, why not a day, a couple of days, go get some go play in some games. Would it hurt? And my response to that would be, well, would it hurt for him to just come back to the big league level? Those guys that he's facing in a big league game, or excuse me, not in a big league game, in a minor league game, in those rehab games, that's not the level of competition that he's going to be facing at the big league level. If he's taking dozens of at-bats a day in Peoria, he's getting himself ready to take at-bats. He's in shape. He said, I think, that last homestand back at Petco Park, not quoting him, but like he was feeling really good, and it's going to go away when he starts playing again, but he's feeling really good. So could he have a brief rehab assignment? Yes. Would I be against it? No. But if he doesn't have one, reading this update here, hitting in the cage, he's taking dozens of at-bats in Peoria. Simulated game situations, such as having runners on base. Is it different standing for 9 innings out there in the outfield? Yes. So maybe he should do that for 1 game, 2 games, whatever. But maybe he is doing that. I mean, I don't think we have the full details on everything that he's doing. Maybe he will do that here at some point and then be back for the Padres next week at Petco. Don't know if it would be the Tiger series, but maybe it's the series after that. Or maybe it's on the road. Who knows? Obviously, don't want them to rush it, but I'm not concerned if he doesn't have a rehab stint. If he doesn't go to Lake Elsinore or San Antonio or El Paso, I'm not going to be sitting here like, why didn't he go on a rehab assignment? What are the Padres doing? They want Tatis back. And if Tatis feels that he is ready, look, I don't think we have to question Fernando rushing it. It can be a worry, but like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, and accuse Fernando of rushing it. Okay. 2020, we got to remember, 2021, they had the collapse. 2022, he got suspended, made some mistakes, and he didn't get to contribute. He was sitting on the couch for that 2022 NLCS run. He's never been to the postseason in a full season with the Padres. You think that this guy is going to rush it when we're about to go into September? He knows that the postseason's coming up. He knows that the Padres are in a good spot. He knows that he can't rush it if he wants to be there for the postseason. So I'm not going to question him if he does come back a little bit earlier than maybe what we anticipated because he doesn't play in a bunch of rehab games. What I care about, like, he's taking at-bats, and I don't think that he is going to be in jeopardy. His leg or whatever is going to be in jeopardy if he doesn't stand out there for 9 innings in El Paso or in San Antonio. I have faith that he can do that, And if he's not 100% when he comes back, I mean, it's already been stated that it's like Manny, like he's probably not going to be 100%. I think Bogarts isn't even 100%, but look how he's doing. So Padres won his bat back in the lineup, and I was actually very encouraged by this update from Kevin that of the amount of work that Fernando is getting in here. Dozens of at-bats, hitting in the cage, facing pitchers again in a simulated game. So he's building up that work. It's not like he's working and then he's taking a day off and then he's working again. He's working consecutive days here, 3 straight days. We'll see I don't know if he's going to he'll probably have a day off here at some point, and they can do that too because they do have David Peralta. They do have that luxury. But to me, it seems like he's getting in his work and he's building up. He's in good shape. And so whenever the time comes, I'm not going to sit here and question if they're rushing it or not. Partly because of what Fernando's had to endure here these last few years and how much he probably wants that postseason moments, those games at Petco Park, sold out crowd in the postseason in a full regular. Remember, he has not experienced a postseason with fans in the stands because 2020 there was no fans at Petco. I don't believe there were fans in Arlington until later in that postseason. I want to say. I think they waited till the CS. Could be wrong on that, but they waited there on that. So he wants that. I don't think he's going to mess it up here by rushing it.